It was the perfect 4th of July barbecue, the kind of summer evening you see in movies. The air in Maple Creek, Ohio, smelled of charcoal and citronella. Kids chased fireflies in the fading light, their shrieks of joy mixing with the lazy hum of conversation. For the residents of this quiet suburb, it was the highlight of the summer. And for Sarah Brennan, it was the last normal night of her life. Stay tuned and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to American True Crime Files Edition on YouTube for cold cases like this. Let's get into it. My name is Merrill Satch, and this is American True Crime Files. Tonight, we're delving into a mystery that proves the most terrifying crimes aren't those that happen in dark alleys, but in the sun-drenched kitchens and hallways of our own homes. This is the story of Sarah Brennan's disappearance, and the chilling evidence that suggests she never left her house at all. To understand this story, you have to understand Maple Creek. Population 22,410, a place with more coffee shops than stoplights. The Brennan family was a pillar of that community. Mark Brennan, a financial advisor with a firm handshake. His wife, Sarah, a freelance graphic designer, the vibrant, creative heart of their world. And their 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Their life was a curated gallery of domestic bliss on social media. Pumpkin patches, beach vacations, a perfectly decorated home. They were, by all accounts, living the dream. But dreams have a way of curdling into nightmares. It was a Tuesday, September 12th. Mark Brennan left for work at 7:15 a.m., kissing Sarah goodbye at the door. He dropped Lily off at school at 7:45. At 8:02 a.m., Sarah sent her last email to a client. "Looks great. Let me know if you need any tweaks." At 8:17 a.m., she posted a sun-dappled photo of her workspace on Instagram. "Creative juices flowing," she wrote. And then silence. The call came in at 4:30 p.m. Mark, frantic. Sarah hadn't picked up Lily from school. She wasn't answering her phone. Her car was in the driveway. Her purse was gone, but her daughter was left behind. When police arrived, the scene was pristine. Unnervingly so. No sign of a struggle. No overturned furniture. It was as if Sarah Brennan had simply evaporated into thin, suburban air. The front door was unlocked, but that wasn't unusual for a safe neighborhood like Maple Creek. The initial theory was a brazen daytime abduction. An Amber Alert was issued. Search parties combed the woods. The community was gripped with fear. But Detective Maria Reyes felt a cold dread in the pit of her stomach. In a stranger abduction, there's usually a sign of a fight, a forced entry. There was nothing. It was all too clean. The absence of evidence was, itself, the first clue. The investigation pivoted to the digital world. And that's where the solid ground of this perfect American life began to crack. The Brennans had a smart home system, motion sensors that tracked movement. The data told a haunting story. From 7:15 a.m. until 8:45 a.m., the sensors showed a normal morning. Sarah moving between her office, the kitchen, the bathroom. Then at 8:47 a.m., the sensor in the main hallway, just outside the master bedroom, was triggered. And then nothing for 6 hours. No movement in the kitchen. No movement in the living room. If Sarah had walked out the front or back door, she would have tripped a sensor. She didn't. The data suggested that whatever happened to Sarah happened near the master bedroom, and that she never walked out of that house. But the digital ghost had more to say. The Wi-Fi router logs revealed something even more sinister. Sarah's laptop disconnected at 8:43 a.m. 1 minute later, at 8:44 a.m., a new, unknown device connected to the network, a cheap prepaid, untraceable burner device. It was only connected for 3 minutes, just long enough to download a single, large file. The conclusion was inescapable. That unknown device was used to install a remote access tool on Sarah's laptop. The cheerful email sent at 8:02 a.m., the sunny Instagram post at 8:17 a.m., they were faked. Staged by someone who wanted to create the illusion that Sarah Brennan was alive, and well for at least half an hour after she was most likely already dead. Someone had crafted a digital alibi. The focus of the investigation snapped back to the house, and this time they looked not for what was there, but for what wasn't supposed to be, They brought in luminol, a chemical that makes cleaned-up blood traces glow with an eerie blue light. And in the master bedroom, in front of the walk-in closet, the floor lit up, a large, smeared pattern consistent with body falling and being dragged. Someone had bled there, and someone had tried desperately to clean it. Then, tucked behind the pipes under the master bathroom sink, they found a single tiny shard of plastic, a piece of a prepaid disposable phone, the same kind used to create the Wi-Fi hotspot. It was a taunt, a piece of the weapon left at the scene. The most haunting discovery was in the crawl space, accessed by a dusty hatch in the garage. There, placed neatly side by side, were Sarah's missing laptop and phone, wiped clean of prints. But the forensics team noticed something else, a faint, residual odor of a specific industrial-grade cleaner, one known for its ability to dissolve organic material. A cleaner not found anywhere else in the house. The picture was now horrifyingly clear. Sarah had been attacked and killed in her bedroom. Her body was cleaned, wrapped in plastic, traces of which were later found in the garage trash, and her digital life was hijacked to buy the killer time to dispose of the body without raising an alarm. But who? The spouse is always the first suspect. But Mark Brennan had a rock-solid alibi, confirmed by dozens of witnesses. He was at work. The spotlight turned to the circle of trust, and one name rose to the top: Ben Miller, Mark's best friend since college, Lily's godfather, the fun uncle. He had a key to the house. He was a regular fixture. He was also a freelance IT consultant, a tech whiz who would know how to use a remote access tool and cover his digital tracks. And he was drowning in debt. We discovered he'd taken out 3 high-interest loans in the months before Sarah vanished. Then, a payment of $15,000 from an offshore account appeared in his bank account just 2 days after Sarah disappeared. He claimed it was for a freelance contract, but he couldn't name the client. The pieces were there. Motive means opportunity, but they needed a direct link. And it came from the most unexpected witness of all, 7-year-old Lily. During a general interview with a child psychologist, Lily recalled something about that morning. She'd had a bad dream and crawled into her parents' bed around 5 a.m. She remembered her mom getting up, but then she fell back asleep. And she remembered a sound. She said, and I quote, "I heard Uncle Ben's voice. He was laughing. He has a funny laugh, like a seal." Uncle Ben, in her parents' bedroom, on the morning her mother vanished. It was a final thread. When confronted with Lily's statement, the financial records and the digital evidence, Ben Miller's cool facade began to crack. But the final blow came from that shard of plastic. Police tracked the sale of that specific phone model to a Walmart 30 minutes away, purchased with cash 2 days before the murder. The security footage was grainy, but as a man in a baseball cap and sunglasses left the store, his face was caught for a single, clear frame in a reflective pillar. It was Ben Miller. He broke down in the interrogation room. His confession was a torrent of jealousy, resentment, and cold calculation. He was in love with Sarah. He'd been sending her obsessive emails from a fake account. She figured it out. She threatened to tell Mark, to cut him out of their lives forever. He went over to talk to her. He had the phone, the tools. It was just supposed to be to scare her, to buy time. But she laughed at him. She called him pathetic. And he saw red. Ben Miller led investigators to a shallow grave in a remote state park. He is now serving a life sentence. But the story of Sarah Brennan isn't just a story about a murder. It's a story about the space between what we see and what is real. The Brennan home looked like a sanctuary. It was, in fact, a tomb. Sarah's digital life looked active and cheerful. It was a ghost, puppeteered by her killer. The most terrifying monsters are not the ones who break down your door. They are the ones you already let inside. The ones who know where you hide your spare key, who know your Wi-Fi password, who your child calls uncle. The disappearance of Sarah Brennan reminds us that the evidence is not always a footprint or a fingerprint. Sometimes, it's a blank space in the motion sensor data, a ghost device on your Wi-Fi, a faint, chemical smell where there should be none. It's the unsettling truth that the most disturbing mysteries are not about where someone went, but about what was hidden in plain sight all along. The house in Maple Creek stands empty now, The people who come to see it talk about the beautiful kitchen, the spacious master bedroom. They never notice the faint, almost imperceptible chill in the hallway. They never know that they are standing in the one place Sarah Brennan never, ever left. For American True Crime Files, I'm Meryl Satch. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more chilling true crime stories and real-world-inspired dramas. Like, comment, and share. Hit the bell for update on new stories added daily.